There are some things that just have to be filmed, have to be documented, or else you would have never believed they truly existed like people say. Sometimes that's a beautiful person, like a Catherine Deneuve or a Clara Bow or a Greta Garbo. Sometimes it's the beauty of a person, Montgomery Clift, for instance, a Monroe. Like you would have never believed all the stories if you hadn't seen it with your own eyes. And then in other cases, it's an event, it's an experience, it's an act, it's two people dancing. It's Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers dancing with each other. The legends are all true, the myths are truthful. Astaire and Rogers dancing together is one of the most purely cinematic things I can think of. It is one of the one of the first things I think of when I think of film and the power of film, especially musical film, which I'm starting to believe is pure, the most purest form of film, because musicals are all films. They try to ignore the audience in a large way, and sort of pretend that these are true characters, true situations. That's the nature of a film, to make you absorbed in it and get you lost inside of it. And it seems like musical film comes the closest to superseding that barrier. Not necessarily just deconstructing the barrier itself, but pulls the audience directly into it by acknowledging them in full. And a musical, clearly, they're performing for you, just for the audience. They are performing for the camera. Fred Astaire dances, the camera does not dance. He is dancing for you. They are dancing for you. It's a full acknowledgement of the audience in that they're fully aware that they are performing for you. To me, that's purely cinematic. And seeing them dance together is extraordinary. The most romantic language I could possibly use wouldn't even come close to actually describing it accurately. Seeing Astaire and Rogers move on screen together, especially in numbers like Not Gonna Dance Anymore from Swing Time, it's so perfect, so purely cinematic. Sometimes you just have to have the experiential quality of something in a film. Like, sure, you can see them dance on a stage, but not really. It's the fact that it is truly cinematic. That these are dance choreographies composed by Fred Astaire to be and to be experienced through the cinema, and you get lost in the choreography. A beautiful choreography, so sophisticated. It goes into dance choreography that I can't even can't even begin to pretend to understand at all, at least not fully. Seeing Ginger and Fred dance is one of the most enormous things. It completely encapsulates the enormity of film itself, is seeing them dance. And it speaks to that purely cinematic quality of the musical, that the audience is a complete participant within it. Every film, the audience is one of the most important parts of a film, because that's what gives any sort of film its transformative power, its capacity for transformation. The audience is the one that transforms it and makes it more dynamic in a way. And the musical is the film that most acknowledges the audience, not by winking at the camera or anything, but just by performing for it outright. And few people performed better than Fred and Ginger together. Astaire and Rogers, my heart, my cinematic heart is within a film like Swing Time. And then we get to Blackface, the Bojangles number in Swing Time. Thankfully, Ginger Rogers is not in this number, so it's not completely corrupted, but Fred Astaire is also a very dangerous man. There's a blackface number in here where Fred Astaire participates in the erasure of black culture and the erasure of a very specific black man, Bojangles from the Shirley Temple films. Um, a man who refused blackface, a man who did so much for African American representation in early talking film, and I guess in vaudeville and dance in general. Fred Astaire, this is such a mean-spirited number, but you could also see like the how dangerous um, performative racism can be when it's done by a genius of the form. Um, uh, when you have dance choreography that is deliberately intended to be mocking and lampooning an entire race of people, and the person who choreographed it, A, and performed it, B, is a genius, like one of the most genius people that ever was on film, it becomes such a dangerous, such a dangerous event, such a dangerous occurrence, because you have to hate it in the pit of your stomach. You have to hate it and be disgusted by it, and then you also have to be disgusted tenfold by the fact that it is incredible to see that he is doing so many sophisticated things with this choreography of hate. It's incredibly mean spirited. That's why I think Swing Time is probably the best film that Astaire ever did. The story, it's whatever. The stories are all contrivances, excuses for the characters to dance, and this does have some of their best numbers. Like when I said the one I brought up earlier, "Never Gonna Dance Again." Brilliant. Oh, the first number that they sing, that they dance to, is absolutely electric, because they make you wait about 30 minutes before Fred and Ginger actually dance with each other, and wow, few things feel more explosive than actually seeing them start to dance in Swing Time, and it's incredible. And I think it's one of his finest films because it portrays how dangerous a person like Fred Astaire can be, how dangerous cinema can be, because it does have the Bojangles number, and it does have that terribly mean-spirited blackface choreography. And it shows the true extent of Astaire's power, since he can drive me to speak so romantically about his movements, about his grace, about the ballet of his emotional and physical character. He can drive me to speak so romantically about film. And then in that same instance, in the same exact film, he can cause me to say that film is a dangerous fucking thing, and that maybe we shouldn't champion it so much, because I just saw something that is so mean-spirited, so incredibly racist and unforgivable, done by someone who is the master of his craft. I mean, therefore, you can absolutely hate what the number represents, but the movements within it are still majestic, and that is so dangerous. When you make racism majestic and graceful, then you have done something so lethal that it's astonishing in its enormity, in its negative enormity. So Swing Time is a great picture, but it's a picture that I watch and I feel nauseous, I feel sick to my stomach, I feel a sense of betrayal watching the film. I think it's a great picture because of every time that Fred and Ginger dance with each other, it is beautiful. And I also think it's a great picture because it greatly expresses the dangerous capacity that films have, but specifically geniuses within film have, to be entirely deplorable and mean-spirited. But Swing Time is a very good film. It's a very good film because it shows almost the entire spectrum of what purely musical cinema can accomplish, from its extremely romantic components to its entirely and unforgivably demented ones. Thanks for watching. I'll be dancing like Fred Astaire. Thanks a little bit in 2020.